off the Tennessee state legislation. They got back on. And what I wanted to see is how was they going to react coming back. In other words, the whole point of it was stay in your place, boy. That was the message that was sent. That was the whole freaking point of you doing that. So I needed to see for myself, are you going to take that message or are you going to still sit there and be the person, the thing that got you elected, the thing that got you the support, the thing that got you, I ain't going to say reelected, I guess voted back up there. Are you going to change your stance? Let's see, did they change their stance?
The purpose of this bill is to strengthen the prohibition on the divisive concepts and promote freedom of expression.
Representative Reagan, do you not believe that college students are mature enough to talk about issues like race and systemic racism, some of the concepts you want to ban?
I believe in God. All else is settled by facts and data.
That's not an answer. You call this the freedom of expression bill, but it's prohibiting concepts from being discussed freely on college campuses. It seems like it's based off of white fragility, fears of teaching the truth of history. You grew up at a time where America was segregated. I'm just trying to figure out how will we be honest about our history?
Your assertion is incorrect, sir. It does not prohibit discussing these.
Under present law, the following concepts are defined as divisive concepts. Students can report professors, this sounds like fascism. This sounds like authoritarianism. This does not sound like democracy or freedom. And I'm trying to get an answer as to see what is the origin of this bill, but you're being evasive because I think that you don't even know what the purpose of this bill is, besides to feed into this racist narrative that you've been promoting all session.
Representative Jones, that's a personal attack and you're out of order.
It is not a personal attack, it's a matter of fact.
Representative Jones, you made a direct comment to the representative accusing him of something.
Representative Reagan, do you believe it is racist to prohibit concepts on systemic racism in the history of America?
Once again, my belief is in God. I settle other things with facts and data.
We keep bringing up God, but God says in Isaiah 10, woe to those who pass unjust laws that hurt the poor and rob them of their rights. And so stop using God to justify your bigotry. Stop using God to justify hatred and racism. Stop using God to put
Representative Jones, you were out of order.
So for the first, you're
Please, you talking and you won't mute.
You're muted. You're muted.
You still muted, this.
And it's good that I was muted. Never mind. Never mind. Carry on.
Gonna do all that, then say never mind.
I'll mute on my own doggone self if he gonna cope with that. So to answer the question,
nope.
Jones still there. Jones still there. Jones still fighting. Say what you gotta say. Bring it up. And by the way, I believe in God, and I defy the facts and figures. Dude, gee.
How does that answer have any bearing for where you are standing?
It doesn't.
It wasn't supposed to.
Supposed to buy time. It's supposed to deflect.
He's purposely taken one word out of context to do this little piece of crap, and that's the word belief. So when he says, I only believe in God, that was the word. That was the thing. So you can never go with, do you believe in this policy? Do you believe in this procedure? Do you believe in this bill? Do you believe in this law? Nope, I only believe in God. I let facts and figures figure everything else out. Okay, so show me where your facts and figures tell me that this is a good idea to write this bill.
Or even if this is a problem. I mean, this is what the Republicans do. They have bills.
They don't write bills. They don't write bills to solve a problem. They write bills to create a problem that doesn't exist.
No, they distract. They write bills to distract from the fact that they have no policy for anything.
That too, yeah. Yeah, you have to create a problem that doesn't exist.
The thing that's most beautiful to me is, one, the play is still the same. The actors are the only one who keeps changing. This is exactly what they've always done. Conservatives. This is exactly what conservatives have done throughout American history. It's never changed. They do the exact same tactic. They hide behind God, but they don't even know God. They act in direct contradiction to everything that God says to do towards others. and then say that they themselves are the representatives of God. They're devils. I'm gonna be real. I mean, I'm saying they're devils not in the way that Elijah Muhammad called them devils. I'm calling them devils because a thing is known by its actions. So if your actions are devilish, you are a devil. So that is why it was so refreshing when, take it however you wish, these two young men are both, if I remember correctly, they're both ministers. So you are going up against someone who knows the word as well, if not better, than you do. So what was so wonderful about that interplay was he didn't take the immediate bait. He said, "Do you believe?" And the guy he did his deflection. I only believe in God, facts and figures to fill the right. All right, if you only believe in God, and this is no disrespect to y'all out there, but if you only believe in God, you already struggle with facts and figures. So let's not play these games. But what was good was he said that, and God stayed on his talking point. He brought it up again, God stayed on the talking point. After he had made his point, he brought it up again, and then used the scripture and handed it right back to him. And said, "Okay."
And then old
You
boy
still want
sit
to go
there
with
and
this?
bailed them out with the gavel. You're out of order. You're making an attack. That was not an
Because
attack.
he saw that his team had just
Really,
got beat.
that was
But this is gonna. I mean, I think this is what people need to watch out for. This is gonna keep happening to them. This is gonna keep.
that was
Oh
it.
yeah.
This is going to keep happening. They're gonna keep getting attacked, and they're gonna have to remain strong. And that
that
means
And
that
to
that was
anyone
the
who
first
acts like
attack.
them around the country.
yeah. But I'm
Yeah,
saying in this particular case,
But yes,
those
yes.
legislators in Tennessee that agree with them are going to have to stand with them because it's coming. They already was paying enough to say, hey, if they come back, we're not going to give money to their district. You said that out
And
loud.
what's even more is, like I said yesterday, we got to focus on the bad guys, like Tracy just said. And then on top of that,
Pearson.
it's not even a matter of these two young people staying strong. Hopefully they do. But the way for them to stay strong is the community needs to stay strong. The community
Yes.
Needs
needs
to
to
support
continue to
them.
support and take care of these people, right? Because so long as you got somebody backing you up, it's easier to be brave,
Yep, and
right? But
send
once
more
the
like them.
cameras start to calm down and ain't nobody paying attention, and now people are making death threats against you and your loved ones, but the cameras aren't paying attention anymore, the game changes.
Yep,
So the community has to continue to rally around these young people so we get more young people to come in behind them.
yep, and send more
It
like
is
them.
easy to act one way when all the eyes are on you, but it says 1,000% more about if you continue to do it. And I truly do believe that these two young men will continue to walk their walk, not just talk their talk.
But I know American
We will
history,
see.
and I know
Mm-hmm.
that these are
Hmm.
state level representatives
Which mean they more
in
pettier.
Tennessee. No, and not only
Yes.
that, I'm just saying American history has shown if you are disruptive enough, all you have to do is wait until the cameras go home,
Yep, just
and
wait your
bad
time.
things can happen to you. And when
We
the cameras come back, it's too bad. You already dead and gone.
and
The
they
cameras can
doing a
come back and do
Protect.
whatever they want to.
yep, and then they doing a background. Although they ain't old enough to do a full background check, but they background being checked into. They trying to find any little thing.
Absolutely.
So, to my brothers and sisters out in Tennessee, if you look like me, if you walk like me, along the poverty line, or actually much below, protect them. Please. I am begging you. They need you. Go out and do something. Please. Contact their office. Please.
And not only that, please protect them. Yes, but remember what I said. Don't focus on the heroes. So protect them because we need to rally around them because of what they represent. Because if you can
That
protect them long enough to continue to develop, you can get more like them to come into the game, right?
Yeah.
Their
And you
purpose
can
is to
change the
swell
game.
their ranks, right? Their purpose is not to
Mhm.
save anybody. That's not their job. There's only two of them. It's not their job.
Right.
Their job is to continue to build the movement so that more young people and more people of means and intelligence and processes can come in and join the fight and be serious. So that's what that energy has to be around. If we only focus on those two individuals as far as what they themselves can do, the danger in that is the movement can be then stalled yet again when one of them has a failing, when one of them comes up short, when we
Right.
find out that one of them is homosexual, but everybody thought he was straight. When we find out that one of them has a drug problem, but we didn't know he had a drug problem. See, if you focus on the two, then they only have to attack one of the two to get to stop you.
Hmm.
We got to build, right? And that's
Yeah.
my biggest concern because America is masterful at breaking movements before they become movements. That's what it does. So
Let me just throw this out here then to all people in Tennessee, all of you.
Yep.
This shot of what they did in the state legislature was not a shot at these two guys. They literally was the forefront of it, of course. So just to make that perfectly clear, the shot was not directed to them. It was directed through them to tell you to stay in your place.
Yep. Better stay in your
Either
place.
get on board or we will silence you. And to show you how serious we is, we're going to take two elected officials and make an example of them. And that is a mark of saying, if we can do it to two people who was elected up here, imagine what I would do to you.
And you don't even have the office.
And you don't even have
and
power.
here's another one. Here's another one, not to overlook the lady, right?
I was just
So
thinking about her that
so
you better
now I'm
stay
not
with.
yeah, so not to overlook the lady. Now, the reason why I don't talk about her that much is not because I don't respect what she did. It's because I don't like when allies and associates get more attention than the people who are actually subject to the struggle, right? So I minimize her role on my own score, but it doesn't mean that her role is minimal. They were also sending a message to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
We saved
Right?
your job.
You are on the wrong side of the line. And we can get you just like we can get them, but we're going to spare you this time. They sent her a message too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
So
want to break your allies just as much as they want to break you.
So just to make it perfectly clear, it is we can get to you at any time.
One way or the other.
One way or the other. Either get on board, get out of the way, or stay in your place.
Or get ran over.
So let's go ahead because we only got like 10 minutes. So let's get to Pearson. We know Jones ain't playing. Jones is the same. Jones is going to stay the same.
Okay.
Let's see if Pearson is the same way.
Deeply concerning bill when you begin to attack education and educational institutions that seek to tell the truth about racism, sexism, quote unquote divisive concepts. An individual, by virtue of an individual's race or sex, is inherently privileged, so we can't talk about white privilege. Racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or subconsciously. Subconsciously, I'm assuming sponsor means we can't talk about biases, which we all have. An individual, by virtue of the individual's race or sex, bears responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex. This is to prevent white folks in particular for being told they had anything to do with enslavement a meritocracy which does not exist because a society that committed genocide against Native Americans, enslaved Black African American people for over 250 years, cannot be a meritocracy because we didn't all start at the same place. But you will not be able to say a meritocracy is inherently racist or sexist or designed by a particular race or sex to oppress another sex, despite the fact that in the United States of America's Constitution that we all swear an oath on, Black people were considered 3/5 of a person. Only rich white men could vote, not women. But you tell us those things we wouldn't be able to talk about. The state of the United States is fundamentally or irredeemably racist or sexist, and the reason I'll vote against this legislation is actually because I do believe this state, this country is redeemable, but it is not going to be redeemed or resurrected if we allow the status quo to persist that silences different ideas. It will not be redeemed if we do not have the courage to look at ourselves and our institutions in the face and demand that they do better. It will not be redeemed if we operate business as usual and not do the work of justice. America is redeemable. The state of Tennessee is redeemable. But if we do not do the work of repenting through true education, by telling the truth, or as Memphian Ida B. Wells said, shining the light of truth upon our institutions and upon our lived experiences, which has made it much more likely for you to stand there than for me. If we do not tell the truth about our past and our present injustices, the state of Tennessee, the United States of America, will not be redeemed. This is the work that we should be committing to, not banning people's ability to think critically about how we got to where we are because we're trying to preserve a status quo that has hurt us. But I've got good news. No matter what you do, people always rise.
The member's assertions are deceptive and incorrect. However, I'll let it sit at that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
73, 25 names.
Senate Bill 817 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most serious testimony.
The gentleman's statements are deceptive and incorrect, but I shall let it lie right there. In other words, nuh-uh.
I was gonna ask at the very end. That's very small for me to read.
Tennessee
was
Holler, and I can't remember what the last part of it was, so I'll look it up later and find out.
Oh, no.
You might as well.
That's all he had. Drews was like, nah.
You know how old you are when you get to a point in your age where you know you are the most whitest, racist, elitist individual in the world, where your lips don't even move anymore. You just like grumble words
You
out.
mean like Mitch McConnell? They know what they're doing, but somebody voted these people in. That's my point. Somebody went and voted for them.
My only belief is
what you fail to understand is that it's not that I'm evil. It's just that my heart died long time ago, and I can't say what he said was false, but it was not true because I know that's not how I would have said it. But it is what I mean.
Stop.
But what I mean to say
oh my gosh.
You are not being nice about what I don't like it.
I wonder how many times they had to stop themselves from saying what they want to say.
Like, man, could you speed up, please?
So do you have a rebuttal, sir? Listen here, boy. I mean, sir. That's
Here's
not
the point I think we're all missing through our laughter. Somebody elected these nincompoops to office in the first
We're not
place.
missing it.
no, Tracy.
We're
No,
not
just
missing
they
it.
built the machine.
Somebody
So
keeps
they built the
electing
machine.
these nincompoops over and over and over again.
And keep on
And
putting
then
them in
they
there.
get a-
You know they racist. You like, you know what? I'm okay
and
with
I'm
it.
sorry.